Today's video is going to be fairly short because I went back to the mill stream hoping that the river levels would have subsided a bit. Well, they had, but not really enough to make a great deal of difference. First thing to note are my new wellies. Having got shoes full of water at Stamford the other week, I've invested in a new pair of Vass wellies. And they are superb. They're short wellies, sort of calf length, and they are lined, insulated. Very, very well constructed, although a little bit on the heavy side. So here I'm having a good start to the day. My lines got tangled up in the undergrowth, so I am trying to unpick it all before I can go any further. Also new for today, you can see me going to my bait box there, in which there are 2 balls of cheese paste. This is proper cheese paste. By that I mean that I consulted the internet and checked out a few recipes from other anglers, and I ended up using Stilton cheese, some cheddar cheese, some bread processed in the food processor, and a bit of garlic, and it came out really well. It's a lovely sort of soft paste, and it stays on the hook while being soft enough for the hook to pull through should I get a bite. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to test that today because I didn't get any bites. Yes, that's right, this is my second blank at the mill stream. The last time the water was really tearing down. It's pretty fast today, but at least there were a few slacks, and I've started off here just dropping down the near side where the water slackens off a bit, and there was signs of some sunken reeds which I thought were moderating the flow. But I didn't get a touch, so I decided to move downstream a bit to the gap in the trees there on the far bank where the flow was more moderate. So here we are at that spot. The problem is that although the flow is a lot slacker over the far side, you've got to get the bait over there in the first place, which is complicated by the fact that there are those low-hanging branches. And once you get it over there, you've got to try to keep it on that side, because the fast-flowing water in the middle of the stream obviously will try to pull the bait round. So I decided to fish this standing as I am, and I was hoping to get as near to that far bank as possible. I could see the gravel bottom over there, although there was quite a lot of streamer weed on the bottom as well, so it was a bit uncertain where the bait would end up. But once getting it over there, I thought by standing up and keeping the rod high, and as you can see, or you can just about see, I'm holding the line, so I'm touch ledgering. And I thought I could roll the bait along on that far bank in that slack of water and hope something would oblige. I worked this swim for quite a long time, casting to various points and on occasions getting pretty close to that far bank, but controlling the bait with the fast flow down the middle wasn't easy, and more times than I would have liked. The bait was just dragged from where it was back into the centre flow. I really needed a bit more lead, but unfortunately in my very limited roving tackle box, the biggest weight I had was only half an ounce, and that really wasn't enough to hold the bait in one position. There was another chap fishing upstream of me, in fact at the outflow from the main whirlpool into the mill stream where I fished on a few occasions. After I'd been there a couple of hours, I strolled up and had a chat with him. He was actually fishing a heavy feeder not in the main flow, but the flow there was in fact faster than where I'm fishing now, so he had his work cut out really. He said he had had a couple of taps on the rod, but nothing positive. So I wasn't the only one struggling. In fact, when I arrived at the car park in the morning, there were more cars there than normal. And I noticed a few anglers along the bank of the main river on the day ticket stretch. And I had a chat with a guy who I'd spoken to the last time I was here when the water was high. And he said to me he had already had a walk around the various parts of the stretch, and although the water had dropped, he did warn me that it was still high. When I got back to the car park later, when I packed up, just getting on to around 2 o'clock, it was interesting to note that his car had gone. He had obviously packed in early, and I couldn't see any anglers along the main river. So it suggested to me that nobody was having a particularly good day. I fished this swim for quite a while. As I said, I tried casting to various points, but I never got anything. And afterwards, I tried 2 or 3 other spots downstream. In 2 cases, actually, sort of wading through high nettles to get to a point where I could fish. And in each case, they looked promising. There were bulrushes and slacks behind the bulrushes, and I really thought again that I might be in with a chance. But it wasn't to be, and in the end the 2 highlights of the day were one, seeing a kingfisher zooming down the river as they do, low flying as they do, and the other was watching a grass snake swim away from me after I'd waded through some nettles and obviously disturbed it. So I think it's time to wind things up. Thank you for watching. Apologies again for not being able to show you any fish, but hopefully it's been interesting to see how I tried, if nothing else. And until the next time, when I hope that I might catch some fish, bye for now.